So, as spiritual beings, we have a deep need within us to make a difference in the world and in the lives of the people that we're close to. We have this deep need to have a positive impact on this world. And the more awake we become to our own spirits, the more awake we become to our own inner being, the deeper that need becomes and the broader the call becomes. And so that need to have a positive effect in the world actually moves from those that we know and those that are close to us to a larger realm, so that that need becomes a realm to make a difference and have a positive impact everywhere and with everyone and the whole of things. It comes to include everyone, those that we know and those that we don't know. And so as we awaken to our own spirits and to our own spiritual essence, what happens is we awaken to that realization of oneness. We awaken to that realization that we are one with this family of humanity, that there is only one family, and it is this family of humanity. We awaken to our connection with everyone and everything. And we awaken to that own essence that is within us and within everyone. We discover that we are one with the all. And so the more we walk this spiritual path and the more we awaken to our own spirits, the greater the need becomes to live from our spirit and to bring that into the world. The greater the need becomes to live from spirit, from that divine presence, from that divine nature that we have within ourselves, that is the very essence, that one that is the essence of our beingness and the essence of our soul. The problem is, and you can tell me if this is correct, is sometimes we forget that we're spiritual beings. Do you ever forget that? We forget that we are spiritual beings, and we forget that we are one with that infinite power. We forget that we are one with creativity and love and wholeness. And when we forget, what happens sometimes is then we start feeling like we're powerless. When we forget our spiritual nature and forget that we are one with that infinite power, we feel powerless to actually have an effect on this world. Does that ever happen for you? And what happens when we feel that way then, when we get overwhelmed by the news of the day and overwhelmed by the chaos that is going on in this world, which seems too big to even name at this point, we get overwhelmed and we get angry and we get scared. And then in that overwhelm, what happens is we just want to give up. We just want to throw our hands up and go, what's the use? Do you have that happen to you also? Yeah. And so I'd like to share a story with you. The great American civil rights leader Martin Luther King was a person with tremendous courage. He endured vilification, imprisonments, death threats. His house was firebombed, and as we all know, he was eventually assassinated. So what kept him going? It was his strong sense of God's call upon his life. King was just 26 years old when he was appointed as leader of the civil rights campaign in Montgomery, Alabama. Apart from terrifying threats from the Ku Klux Klan, King was harassed by police. Arrested for driving 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, he was given his first stint in jail. The night after his release, he was at home when the phone rang. The person on the other end called him the N-word and said in a menacing voice at the other end, "We are tired of you and your mess now. And if you aren't out of this town in 3 days, we're going to blow your brains out and blow your house up." King was unnerved and very afraid for himself, for his wife, and for his little children. Shortly after the phone call, I'm cutting out, huh? You guys hear me cutting out? Yeah. It's this, though. It's not forward. If it gets too annoying, let me know. So King was unnerved and very... It's annoying to me. King was unnerved and very afraid for himself, his wife, and for his little children. Shortly after the phone call, he sat at his kitchen table drinking a cup of coffee. And I sat at the table, he said, thinking about that little girl and thinking about the fact that she could be taken away from me at any minute. And I started thinking about my dedicated, devoted, and loyal wife who was over there asleep. And I got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I was weak. And I discovered then that the religion had become real to me. I had to know God for myself. And I bowed down over that cup of coffee. I will never forget it, he said. Lord, I'm down here doing what I think is right. I'm down here trying to do what is right. I think I'm right. I think the cause we represent is right. But Lord, I must confess I am weak now. I'm faltering. I'm losing my courage. And it seemed to me at that moment, I could hear an inner voice saying to me, Martin Luther, stand up for righteousness. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. And lo, I will be with you unto the ends of the world. 3 nights later, the menacing threat made in that phone call came true. A bomb exploded on the front veranda of the King home. Thankfully, no one was hurt. But King was able to get through it. My religious experience a few nights before had given me strength to face it. Time and again throughout his ministry, Martin Luther King returned to that experience to strengthen him as he faced terrible difficulties. You are here walking this spiritual path to be the light, to be the love, to be that presence through your words and your thoughts and your actions. You are here to be the light. In the Gospel of Thomas, which is a part of the Gnostic Gospels, it says, that which you have will save you if you bring it forth from within yourselves. Another one of in the Gospels, it says, what you seek after is within you. You are seeking after the light and the love and the peace and the good of your own spiritual nature. That is what you are seeking. That is what is calling you. You are seeking after that light and that love and that peace. You are being called, we are each being called to bring that into this world. And so the title of my talk today is Being the Light. And I'm talking about that it is as we awaken to that Christ principle that is within every single one of us, that is what enables us to bring the light into this world. That is what allows us and enables us to be a healing presence in this world. And so one of the very core concepts of the Science of Mind teaching says, the mystic concept of the cosmic Christ is not that of a person, but of a principle, a universal presence, the universal image of God present in all creation. Each human partakes of the Christ nature to the degree that the cosmic Christ is recognized and revealed through him or her. To that degree, he or she becomes the Christ. And so there are 3 personifications of Christ. And one is the historical Jesus, the man who walked this earth and the life that he lived. And the second one is Jesus of the Bible, which is what Christianity is really based on, the Jesus of the Bible. And some of that may be true, and some of it may be partially true, and some of it might not be very true at all. And then the third one is the cosmic Christ, or that Christ consciousness, that Christ principle. And so today I am talking about that Christ principle, that Christ presence that exists within every single one of us. So the word Christ means enlightened. It means filled with the power and the presence of God. That Christ presence, that Christ principle is the aspect within us that knows that we are one with the one. That knows that we are one with that infinite presence of love and peace and wisdom and good. The part of us that knows that it knows that there is only one and we are a part of it and it is within us. That is the Christ principle in us. It is a consciousness of oneness and a consciousness of love and a consciousness of peace and a consciousness of power. And so Jesus of Nazareth was a man who walked this earth that realized that presence within his own being to the greatest degree of anyone we have ever seen on this planet. And so we are each today being called to be that Christ principle, to bring that Christ principle into this world, to bring the light into this world. The light of oneness and of love and of peace and of our own authentic power. When we do that, healing occurs. When we do that, we become a harmonizing presence in this world. When we do that, we become the change that we wish to see. Matthew Fox said, "The cosmic Christ ushers in an era of coherence, of ending the separations, divisions, dualisms, and piecemealness." Is that the world you want to live in? That's the world I want to live in. A world that is free of separations and divisions and dualisms and piecemealness. There's a story that says, a master was strolling through a field of wheat when a disciple came up to him and asked, "I can't tell which is the true path. What's the secret?" "What does that ring on your hand mean?" asked the master. "My father gave it to me before dying." "Well, give it to me." The disciple obeyed, and the disciple obeyed, and the master took the ring and tossed it into the middle of the field of wheat. "Now what?" shouted the disciple. "Now I have to stop doing everything I was doing and look for the ring. It's important to me." When you find it, remember this. You yourself answer the question you asked me. This is how you tell the true path. It is more important than all the rest. What is it that is more important, the most important to you? Is it being a beneficial presence in this world? Is it being and bringing into this world the love and the light and the peace that God is? Is it living in the experience and bringing that experience of oneness into this world? What is it that is most important to you as a spiritual being on this spiritual path? That is the determining factor of what is the true path. And so how do you get there, to that path, to that place of being the light and of being the love and of being a healing presence in this world? How do you get there from that everyday living where you get caught up in the chaos and the trauma and drama of the world? Affirmative prayer is one of the things that takes you there. Because in affirmative prayer, you remind yourself that there is only one, that there is only one power and one presence, and that power and presence is right where you are. That it is the fabric of your life, and it is the essence, the core essence of who you are. That it is in you and around you and is you. You do affirmative prayer to remember that. You practice meditation, because in meditation you come to touch and recognize and feel your own divine beingness. The part of you that is not caught up in the affairs of the world and what is going on. Meditation enables you to see through new eyes, to see through the eyes of love, and to see through the eyes of compassion, and to see through the eyes of peace, and to see through the truth of your own wholeness. Dr. Ola Sarmiento, who was a research scientist and has turned into a spiritual scientist, says, when your mind and your soul carry the same data, I'm going to say that again. When your mind and your soul carry the same data, and you know yourself as part of the whole, you might be said to be fully conscious. When your mind knows what your soul knows, then you become fully conscious. Then you become that healing presence in this world. The only way that I know how to get your mind and your soul into alignment is through spiritual practice, through spiritual study, through coming here on Sunday mornings, through affirmative prayer, through meditation. But it takes spiritual practice to line up your mind and your spirit, or your mind and your soul. And so I invite you right now to join me in a meditation. And so I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable, and to allow yourself to become still. To become aware of that place within you that is perfect peace. The stillness that is at the very center of your being. Here within lies the part of you that is beyond personality, beyond ego, beyond any part of you that receives its identity from the outside world. Here, we touch the part of us that is the light and the love of the divine. Here, we touch the essence of our spirit. Here within lies our own Christ nature, one with the infinite. Within us and all around us lies the kingdom of God, for we live in this presence, and this presence lives within us. Here there is no separateness. Here there are no divisions, no dualism. Only the infinite beingness of the One. Here is peace. Here is power. Here is love. From this divine center, we bring peace. For it is here that we are safe, that we are secure, that we are absolutely whole. From this divine center, we bring love. From this divine center, we bring wholeness. From this divine center, we bring the light of the Christ. And so I invite you to bring your attention back to your body and to this room. And when you're ready to open your eyes. That is one of the ways you bring your mind into alignment with your soul. And so practice meditation. Practice getting out of that chaotic mind that's caught up in the world and allow yourself to commune with that divine presence within you. And practice being centered. Stop and breathe and connect with your own self. When you do that, you won't be so reactionary. You'll make clearer decisions because you'll be coming from a place of calm. You'll make better choices. And in moments of frustration in life, turn within and ask yourself, what would Jesus do? Take that line. I love that line. What would Jesus do? Ask yourself in here, what would my own Christ nature do? What would that Christ principle within me do in this situation or in this moment? Jesus, the Christed one, was not the great exception. He was the great example of how to live and how to be in this world. He was the way shower. And so my invitation to you is to recognize that Christ nature that is always within you, to nurture it and to awaken it, to commit to being it and to bringing it into this world. And as a result, you will be making a difference everywhere you go. As a result, you will feel much less like a victim and more effective in this world and be a power for change, a power for good. You will be being the change that you want to see in the world. And you will be being the light. And so blessings to every single one of you on this path of awakening and this path of bringing your own spirit and divinity into this world in a way that blesses everyone. Blessings to all of you. And so I invite you to join me right now in an affirmative prayer. And so we take our attention right now from this material world and all that we see around us, and we turn instead to that realm of the divine, recognizing that there is only one power and one presence and one life, and that is the very life of God. It is the power and presence of the infinite itself, and it is that one that fills all of time and all of space with its beingness. That infinite one is pouring everything out of itself, out of its own creativity, out of its own wisdom, out of its own intelligence. That everything we see and everything we don't see is this one expressing itself. And so I recognize and know that we are incarnations, individualized expressions of this one God, and all that God is right where we are. That all that God is right now is pouring itself out into our lives, and all of the love and all of the peace, all of the power and all of the wholeness is right where we are. And so today we willingly say yes to this call of the divine within us to be a beneficial presence in this world. We answer yes to this call of our own souls to be that Christ principle, to fan it and to awaken it and to give way to it in this world so that we might be a harmonizing, healing presence in this world. For that is the call of our own divine beingness. That is the call that has been knocking from within. And so today, I know that that call and that presence within us is greater and bigger than any fear or any doubt or any seeming problem in the world. And so today we walk in this light, and we walk as this light. And what a blessing it is to be in recognition of this. What a blessing it is to say yes to that call. And so it is with a grateful heart that I give thanks for every single one of us in this room. I give thanks for every person on this planet who has the intention of making this world a better place, who has the intention of helping and of healing and of supporting and of ending separateness and dualisms and piecemealness, and instead is coming together as the truth of oneness. And so I know that oneness is the truth, and that it is making itself real in this world through each one of us. And so we just simply say yes. And in gratitude, I release this prayer, knowing that it is unfolding itself even now. And I say, thank you, God. And so it is.